Ladies and gentlemen, this Mind of a Maniac Sports and Media, and this morning I had to put my analytical hat on, so to speak, for some people because a lot of people are trying to downplay the significance of Isaiah Hartenstein and his play and what he had to do to actually win the game. First of all, the refs let them get away with murder. And we do talk about a lot of the old play from the old days, and that's perfectly fine because we're not complaining about the play, we're complaining about who benefited from it. If you're only going to call it one way. Now, if you're going to let both teams play the exact same way, pull and grab, perfectly fine. You can't let OKC continue to be the dominant players or the cheating side, so to speak, because it gets to a point to where it's malicious intent. So it's overused, so it becomes a cheating because you're not allowing any malicious acts on the other side because you're calling all the ticky-tacks, right? Okay. Now, with that said, a lot of people are trying to downplay Isaiah Hartenstein, his efforts to, in fact, win this game. If it's not for him playing the way he played, they do not win this game. OKC will be down 0-2. Hartenstein may have got 11 fouls, but he definitely had to play the game that he played in order for them to win. If not, do you realize Wemby would have had another game like he had in game one? And in fact, it probably would have been more impactful. Okay, because so many people or specific people come under my comments and they try to argue the fact that Hartenstein, in fact, got most of his rebounds or got a lot of his stuff while Wemby wasn't on the floor, why he didn't share time with Wemby on the floor. Let's break this down because I want to break this down. Hartenstein had 8 offensive rebounds and 13 total rebounds, also double-digit in points. Okay, the first game they played, he played 12 minutes because in the same time that I'm going to break this analytically down, I'm also going to show you his impact. He played 12 minutes, had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and they lost. Okay, this game he played 27 minutes. He was Wemby's primary defender. Though he got away with all the calls, he was Wemby's primary defender. Wemby played 37 minutes. So there's 10 minutes unaccounted for where you know Wemby was definitely on the floor without Hartenstein. Correct? Right. We all know that. Now, Hartenstein played 27 minutes. Wemby played 37 minutes. So that's roughly around 72 to 73% of the time that Wemby and Hartenstein played against each other. That's well above 50%. 73% of the time he was on the court, Wemby was on the court together. Out of that 73% of the time, I couldn't get the actual analytical break of how many offensive rebounds was grabbed, but you can guarantee that out of 27 minutes versus 10 minutes, where do you think most of the offensive rebounds came from in that time span? Now, y'all can go play detective all you want and go look and see where he actually grabbed more offensive rebounds or more rebounds in general from what time span, whether the 10 minutes or the 27. But I am more than likely willing to bet you that 27 minutes provided more offensive and defensive rebounds than 10-minute time span. I'm just saying, if you want to do that. Because, and to be honest, you can't, that's only on Wemby's side because Wemby is the only one that played 10 minutes without Hartenstein. So it is already known that Hartenstein played as the primary defender of Wemby for the 27 minutes. So it's almost highly unlikely that most of his rebounds come with Wemby on the bench because he only played 27. Wemby played 37. Get what I'm saying? All right, so that's to debunk that. And this just shows you, as Hartenstein played the 27 minutes, how the game shifted. His way of playing, that dirty play that he played on Wemby, won them the game. Also, whenever they came in close, he made some impactful plays. This is the problem when people try to downplay. The fact that they after the game they interviewed SGA and they specifically asked him. He said, "I'm not sure if it was good, to be honest." Why would you say that? And I had some people say this is leadership. No, that's not leadership, because though you know that wasn't a perfect game and that y'all got away with all the dirty stuff, you never speak that when it comes to your own game. You don't put that out there because he did what he had to do for you to win, for your team to win. He did what he had to do. If he's not grabbing and holding Wemby liable to have 40 and 30 this game. He did what he had to do. He ran Wemby out the paint. For the last 8 minutes, Wemby didn't score 5 rebounds, points, rebounds, or assists combined. I think it was, right around that time. This is tough to do. He did that. I could be off a little bit, but I do know at least down to 5 minutes. Points, rebounds, assists. Hartenstein held him down. SGA is not the defender in that situation. There's no way that I had, as a leader, that I have a player that sacrificed his image to play dirty and do whatever he had to do for us to win, to keep us from going down 0-2. And then I represent him by saying, I'm not sure if what he did was good. That's not leadership. If anything, I was like, man, yeah, he did what he had to do to win. We needed that. He stepped up big tonight. He provided a double-double, 8 offensive rebounds. Like, what about that is not good? You understand what I'm saying? So you have to get at it. But see, then you have people saying, well, it's a team sport. Okay, well then if it's a team sport, then shouldn't you motivate your people and say they did a good job because you won as a team? Because those people don't do that. If Hartenstein doesn't do what he does, they do not win. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you only want the praise to go to SGA. SGA only wants the praise to go to him because if he's saying he's not sure what Hartenstein done was good, then why don't you ever say that about yourself? Because that's people's argument. They saying, well, he's talking about the fact that Hartenstein was holding him most of the night and all this and that. Okay, then why doesn't he say he's not sure what he done was good when he flopping all night, or missing shots because he's trying to fake a flop, or missing a screen, or missing a pick because he's trying to flop. It's many occasions, though SGA is a great player, it's many occasions that he cost them plays too because of flopping. Rather than shooting a regular layup, he'll lay out, or nobody don't touch him and he get close to him, he'll flop. Why don't he say that's okay? Because that can be beneficial in some cases. In some cases, it's not beneficial because it might not always go your way. Why doesn't he say that wasn't good enough? Why doesn't he critique his own game? So, bottom of the line is, if you are a leader, you can lead different ways. Don't just be negative when it comes to your players. If you're going to be that type of person to where it's never good enough as a motivational tactic, then you have to apply that to yourself as well. You can't just praise yourself and take all the praise, and then when it's on your teammates, you want to critique them openly and publicly. If you didn't like the way he played, Wemby, you should have congratulated him to the public, and y'all talk about it in the locker room. You don't diminish his play, because next game he can say, okay, you don't want me to play that way for us to win? Let me fall back. Because Chet can't do it. Chet is not a good player. Hartenstein is arguably a better player than Chet. Chet maybe could shoot better, but interior offense, interior defense, Hartenstein is a better, stronger, more physical player than Chet. Chet, period. Let's get to understand. Hartenstein is the stronger interior and, the rebounder. Chet is basically non-existent in this series. So let's get it understood. He's about the same average he was in the first game. The only thing that changed significantly was Hartenstein. I'll rest my case.